Gentlemen, start your egos. It's
Hi, I'm Nat.
I'm Jenny.
And this is Oscar Bait.
And it is time for us to talk about the final thing as we break down all the Oscar categories because there's going to be on in a couple days.
It's nearly over. We're nearly there. So let's take a look at who's going to take home Best Motion Picture of the Year.
Dun, dun, dun. So, the nominees for Best Motion Picture of the Year. The Big Short,
Brooklyn,
Bridge of Spies,
Mad Max, Fury Road,
The Martian,
The Revenant,
Room,
Spotlight. It is a year with 8 nominations, and it's a year that has not had a clear frontrunner, like at all, really.
No.
It's been a big muddle. It's been really hard to pick. Most years you come in and you go, okay, there's one or two very strong ones and pretty much have a good idea of who's going to take it home. This one is one of the hardest years to pick in a long time for me.
Yeah, well, I think it's also because I haven't really decided where I fall, and I think you're the same, on director. Because my heart is saying one thing, but my brain is worried about another thing. And I think it's very similar with Best Film, where I'm kind of like, well, it should be this, but I don't know. I'm flummoxed. I don't know what to say.
Well, let's knock out the ones that we can be pretty sure are not going to take it home. Brooklyn?
Yeah, definitely. Sweet little movie, but what is it doing here?
It's like a Hallmark Sunday afternoon movie.
Yeah, interesting choice to actually be in here. And I would also put Bridge of Spies in there as well.
I agree. I mean, it's kind of like the dad version of Brooklyn.
It really is.
Also counting out of the Best Picture race, I would say Room.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Room is here for acting.
Yeah.
Like we said in the directing episode, which you can click on here, maybe, it's not really a strong film. It's a strong acted film, a strong performance film.
Yeah.
So Best Picture, not a chance.
And I'm going to rule out The Martian as well.
Yeah, I think
that's fairly safe.
Yeah, it's nice that The Martian's getting as much love as it is, really.
Yeah.
Because it's a well-made movie and it's like it kind of ticks all the boxes, but
it also came out fairly early in the year too.
Yeah, so
I mean, not Mad Max early, but
but it's just kind of nobody cares. I think nobody's really talking about it.
So let's take a look at the ones we can consider serious contenders. Firstly, we have The Big Short.
Well, The Big Short, I personally don't know if it's got much of a chance, but it is a contender. I think because it has sort of the, it's not Sorkin, but the Sorkin-esque, big story all woven together very cleverly. It's a very clever movie.
And it's also an ensemble film, which the Academy does have a history of loving, particularly because they do require just more mastery in direction and screenplay when you're making ensemble films. And I also think it hits at a very pertinent time for America with this topic as well. You're seeing Bernie Sanders increasing his lead in the Democratic, in the Democratic candidacy on this whole issue.
Yes.
On the issue of the financial crisis, of economic inequality, of these big crappy bankers who
99%.
are ruining the 99%. So it is such a pertinent movie for the time, I think.
I think that it doesn't hold enough weight, though.
And it's interesting because it's been nominated for a lot of things, but it took out the Producers Guild Award, which is a pretty big vote of confidence in it. But that's kind of the only major award it's taken out also. So, I mean, it's really hard with award season this year because I think the awards have been very scattered. Different awards holders have been awarding different films.
Yeah.
Which is making it so hard to pick this year. Is the heat on for The Big Short?
I mean, personally, I feel like it's not there. It's like a lukewarm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's an American story. Like you said, it's relevant. It's a very tightly made movie. So it does kind of, Argo won. So,
Right.
I mean, I really liked Argo, but that's a similar kind of thing where it was tight and American and ensemble. So maybe it could come out of nowhere. I feel like the swell isn't behind this one.
Okay. Well, let's move on to...
Prove me wrong.
We'll just have to wait and see because I actually can't. It's too hard. Let's move on to Mad Max Fury Road.
Well, this is probably what I would like to see win, I think. But that is purely also kind of comes from a very selfish place, I think. You know, if I was in the Academy, I'd be doing the voting for all the wrong reasons kind of thing. Like, I'd be voting for Australia and also for, like, cinema history and as, like, a filmmaking nerd. So I'm not voting for it for the right reasons. But it is a massive movie that has been sort of a juggernaut. Yeah. I'm shocked that, I loved it, but I'm shocked that it made it to the awards. Yeah. Because it came out so long ago, but that just proves how powerful it was when it came out.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think the Academy will hesitate at giving Best Picture to such a blatant action movie.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's too ballsy for the Academy.
Too wacky.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I feel like I'm happy to be confident that it'll win other things, but I don't think it'll win this.
No. So next up we have The Revenant. The Revenant has had a very big last-minute swell. The director, Alejandro González Iñárritu, took out the Directors Guild Award. He took the Golden Globe. I think he also took the BAFTA, but don't quote me on that. But, this movie is getting all this swell and Leo's in it and everyone's excited for it. And it's also, like we were saying in the director episode, it is similar to Mad Max in a lot of ways. It's telling, like, a bigger story about human society and human condition in this, like, very hostile environment. And so, like, what happens when you pit... I guess Mad Max is, like, what happens when you pit, like, society against a hostile environment. What happens when you pit the individual against a hostile environment. Yeah, that's my third year film essay.
Parallels. So the timing of The Revenant's release is on its side in this case because we have seen in the past, obviously, that a movie will come in right at the end, strike when the iron's hot, and will win all the big awards just because it's most recent in people's minds. I'm really hoping that won't be the case with this one.
Yeah, I hope not. And I hope, like you said before, that the mythology factor doesn't take it either, that it's Leo's first Oscar, that it's had this grueling process. I hope it's not The Revenant.
Yeah, I think I am quietly worried. But the other thing that's going against The Revenant is the fact that Birdman won last year. Yeah,
which is a potential, but I think when it comes to film, that doesn't matter so much.
I'm just hoping against hope. I'm just putting all my hopes into the basket because if it wins, I swear to God, I'm out of here. No, not really.
She's out.
But I would love for something a bit more like Spotlight.
Yeah, well, Spotlight is really interesting. So Spotlight had been, I think, the front runner in the early stretch of the season. Mm-hmm. So in the sort of like November, December stretch, before The Revenant really came out in a big way, Spotlight was the front runner. And I think it's deserving. Spotlight is a beautifully told, subtle story, kind of like The Big Short in the sense that it's all about the smaller people coming to grips with the problems in this big institution that they all believed in. Yeah.
It's a larger story than all of these people, but these people, it's ensemble.
Yeah. And it is
relevant
story. And it continues with that perfect current American narrative of the little vulnerable person being screwed by a biggest system stacked against them.
But then being able to come up against the system.
Yeah.
It's the I was going to say the Aussie battler, but it's the little American underdog that rises up.
And this story has a hopeful ending because there is actual progress being made around the world on the issue of the Catholic Church. And at the end of the film, I found really powerful the way that they scrolled through all of the countries and cities and states and towns where they had found these things and they were undergoing, and there were cases undergoing.
Yeah.
It's a true story.
It's truth.
Ensemble, wonderfully acted.
Yeah, see, I would...
And to me, like The Big Short and Spotlight are films of the new Best Picture school.
The new wave.
The new wave, like the post-Crash Best Picture school, where you have a big ensemble and you tell bigger stories and, based on a true story is everything. And, it's okay to tell sort of a more subtle emotional story as well. Whereas I think like Mad Max and The Revenant, which are such like single-minded, protagonist-driven stories, are really like of the old school.
Yeah, that's true.
They feel they don't feel very modern.
That's true, yeah. They're kind of dinosaurs. Kind of relics in a new world. And actually, looking at the past few years of Best Picture winners, Birdman, Argo, let's forget the artist ever happened. I don't know what happened.
What the hell was that?
The Hurt Locker. These are all, like you said,
modern,
emotional,
ensemble, true stories. Yeah. Well, not Birdman, but still human stories with ensembles and lots of different characters, and it's about the relationships between those characters as well.
There's that element, I think, also that you touched on, which was nice, of dealing with something bigger than all of those people. Even Birdman had sort of the bigger idea of kind of creative pursuits. I don't know, because I'd like to see Mad Max win for selfish reasons. I think Spotlight probably should win. Yeah. I don't know what will win.
I'm a bit floored by this year, to be perfectly honest. But I'm tentatively still going to give it to Spotlight.
Yeah.
Just because, just as we recapped, it is totally the most Best Picture film on the roster.
Yeah, of this year, for sure.
A film like The Revenant or Mad Max, a film like Mad Max has never really won. And a film like The Revenant hasn't won in a very long time. And I think a film like The Revenant has got to be a lot better to break that trend.
Well, I'm going to be hopeful and put my money behind Spotlight as well, because I think it deserves it. And you know what? It's not going to win other than potentially screenplay, but even that I'm not sure. But it's not going to win anything else it's nominated for. This could be the one thing where it gets the nod that it should get.
Yeah, which does worry me though, because it's so rare that happens, that a film wins Best Picture and nothing else.
And again, like, this could be a matter of watching, seeing where the technical awards fall and using that to kind of read how the Academy as a body were kind of feeling when they were actually casting votes. I don't know, this is a tricky one.
That's a tricky one.
I guess this is a bit of a cop-out because we haven't really decided on one of them.
Normally we would be so sure, but unfortunately.
But you know what? Sometimes I am so sure and I am totally wrong, because Boyhood still hurts. Like, I still have wounds from that. It's tough.
It is tough.
What do you think, though? Maybe you should tell us.
Help us out.
School us idiot people here on your screen.
Leave us a comment below. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We will be tweeting the Oscars live on 8 p.m. February 28th. In the US, February 29th from 12 p.m. Australian Eastern daylight savings time. So jump on Twitter and you can see our wonderful snarky comments as we recap the whole thing for you. That's at OscarBait_. And we'll see you right after.
Good luck.
Goodbye, everyone.
But I also think it has Inarritu syndrome where sometimes his films can be like just a bit more inflated than they deserve to be, as in he inflates his own films with this like sense of grandeur and higher meaning that they don't always deliver on.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I think.
Yeah, to me, The Revenant is a great screensaver. So I would not like to see it take out Best Picture. But like you were saying, there's also sort of a myth around The Revenant because of how difficult it was to film and all of this stuff. Like, there are people who aren't even film buffs who are saying to me, oh, it was all filmed with natural light. And it's like, if normal people know that, like, and think that's impressive, there's a myth around The Revenant as being like this amazing film.
I think we'll forget about it in a few years' time.
I agree.
That's just me.
I agree. No, I think
like
this doesn't have legs.